Okay, so you're going to start with your large piece of paper. So a very large piece of paper. And you're going to start by folding the paper in half hamburger style. So you want to fold it in half crosswise. Okay, so now I've got my paper folded in half once. You see, just one fold. And now I'm going to fold it again the other direction. So I had it folded with my fold on the bottom, and now I'm going to fold it again. So now that the fold is on the right hand side. Then I need to fold it into thirds. So what I'm doing is I'm taking it from the short end here, which should be on the left side if you had your last fold on the right side. So from the bottom, I'm folding it up until it looks like my paper has two sort of even triangles, so it's sort of hard to see, but here's my paper. I'm making sure that this side on the left, where it's folded, is about the same size as this section here. This section right here on the right. So I'm just folding it so that it'll be equal thirds. So you're thinking about this as kind of like a pie, like forget about the shape. I know it's rectangular, but imagine if it was round and here are slices of a pie. I want 3 slices here. So I'm going to fold it, not just so that it goes to the halfway point right here. And then I can flip it over and fold it again. So see how I have a nice folded section. It now has 1, 2, 3 sections here. That's what we want. And now you'll take your scissors and you're going to cut out a design. So you want to make sure to cut off any of these straight edges. So these sides are all longer than this one right here. So I'm going to make sure I cut off this short edge of it. And you can use any sort of design. You can make it kind of sharp zigzags. You can make it one long curve. You can make it look sort of scalloped. You can do any design you want. So I'm just going to start cutting. And I'm just doing it sort of organically the way I see it. So now I cut it off. And when I go to unfold my paper, you'll see that it's got like a nice repeating pattern all the way around. And it should have 12 sections. So I'm going to count them. I'm going to line this up so it's straight up and down and count starting with this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I should have 6 more on this side. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you want 12 different segments because we're going to be painting a color wheel that has all 12 of our primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors. So the next thing I'm going to do after I've verified that it all has my 12 segments, you can take a pencil and start cleaning this up, and you can use a ruler if you like. Make these segments really clear so you don't get confused, right? And you're going to choose one of the segments and start drawing any sort of design that you want. Now I wouldn't make it too detailed because you're going to be painting in this different section all the subsections that you create. So if I were to put like one line, that would make 2 sections, right? But I do want to make sure I have at least 3 different sections within each of these little pie slices. But you can have more than 3, but you want at least 3, but I wouldn't do more than, let's say, 6 or 7 different sections, because then your painting is going to get really detailed and it's just going to make it harder for yourself later. So I'm going to start making some sections. So you can decide, do you want this to be more organic or more geometric shapes? So I'm going to choose something that has a mix. So I'm going to do a line across here, then maybe another line here, then maybe I'm going to do a squiggle that's kind of goes off to the side, and maybe a section here and a little circle. Clean up that a little bit. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sections. I think that works nicely, okay? So the next thing you will do is take a Sharpie and trace over your pencil drawing to get it exactly how you like it. And this is going to make it easier when we start tracing. So please make sure as you get to the edge, do not draw on the table surface with the Sharpie or on anything else. And fold it back the other way. So with a pencil, I'm going to just trace over where I see the lines. Okay, and then now I can see it has basically the mirror image of this on this side, and I can always later make it continue. So you don't have to follow your pencil marks exactly. You should just make it look like a symmetrical pattern that goes all the way around, right? So you'll just keep doing that with each section. So I can fold it back this way again, and now I can see what's in this entire segment. So I would recommend you do this in pencil first and then with the Sharpie, just in case you make a mistake, but you're welcome to just start with the Sharpie if you prefer. And you're just sort of tracing quickly. And now you see I have a whole new section, and I'm going to just fix these so that they meet up in a place that makes sense, right? Okay, so you could keep doing that. I'm going to fold this section over, and then I could just trace this whole area from here to here. So the idea is you want this pattern repeated all over. So you're probably wondering, well, how do I trace it? And how do I see through it? Because if you lay it flat on your table, you may not be able to see the drawing underneath. Okay, so that's what these pieces of plexiglass are for. You can take your drawing, say I was working on this section here, and hold up the plexiglass up to the light. So you're actually going to put your paper on it, then turn the plexiglass until you can see light coming through on the other side. So it's hard to see with here, but if I'm turning this paper, you can see a little tiny bit right there. I start to see the design coming through. So you might actually have to kind of hold this whole plexiglass and your paper with your left hand if you're right-handed. Hold it with your left hand, like so that you're holding it like this. You're grasping both the paper and the plexi at the same time. Then you might need to put the whole thing sort of to an angle like this, or maybe you even draw it upside down. Put your paper, put it upside down like this, and then you'll be able to start seeing how you can trace the design that you drew that way. The other option is I have some light boxes set up around the room, so I don't want to see more than one person from each table up at a light box at a time. So you'll just take turns, but you can use the light boxes if the plexiglass method isn't really working well for you. But that's the goal for today, is to get this entire design repeated on every single segment. And if you finish with that, then you can start mixing paint to start filling in our color wheel.